him first of all and ask for his removal.
What was in the Falklands? What was the standout? What was the standout memories that you have from participating in that conflict?
There are lots of them because it was a pretty formative time of life. I was a 22-year-old officer I was in the 3rd Battalion, the Parachute Regiment. We went south on the Canberra, which was a luxury cruise liner, and it was still pretty well appointed compared to the warships that were around us. I landed at Port St. Carlos. I'd been shot at in Northern Ireland before, but we got shot at properly as we were coming ashore. I walked across the islands. I took part in one of the battles outside Stanley. I didn't get into Stanley because I was careless and got wounded. So I ended up being shipped off home, having, as my soldiers put it, failed my Philcraft exam. So I did write a book about it, which if anyone's interested, I'll just plug the book. It's called Jigsaw Puzzles. That'll cure people's insomnia. I was the battalion intelligence officer.
Okay.
In the infantry, you used infantry officers to do that sort of level of job rather than specialist intelligence officers. So I described putting together this jigsaw puzzle of information, collecting the evidence from very limited sources. Because, of course, before the information age, once we'd sailed over the horizon, there was no information. They occasionally parachuted the mail in to the sea next to us, and so we might get newspapers that are a week out of date. But there was no internet, there was no texting, there was no emails. So
no form of communication.
We were totally in the dark once we were over the horizon. My parents at home knew far more about what we were doing than we did.
Oh wow! Oh my God, I can't even imagine. We've all grown up. At least me and some of my team, we've all grown up in the age of social media, constant flows of information. So going completely off the grid, and in turn going into a military operation with no information about what's happening back home and the supposed nation that you're fighting for. That's absolutely crazy. And did you enjoy? Maybe it's a weird question. Did you enjoy going to war? Or being involved in these military conflicts?
I'm back to my analogy of being a Grand Prix driver or a national hunt jockey and wanting the rides. Very few soldiers went. To be one of them was fantastic. I would have hated to watch it on television back home because "come on" is much better than "go on" as a leadership cry.
Yeah.
Did I enjoy it? I spent the best part of a month cold, wet, hungry. Not quite sure whether I was going to survive the day on odd occasions, and it's character building. Let's put it that way.
It's character building.
But if you turn the clock back and gave me the choice at the bottom of the brow to the ship, do you want to go or not? I would still got on that ship.
Because you thought it was a cause worth fighting for.
Less that. And I'll change my analogy. It's a bit like football teams.
Okay.
I belonged to the 3rd Battalion, the Parachute Regiment. That was my team. They were going. I wasn't staying, but I wasn't being left behind. I was going with my team. And on all the operations I've done, I did Gulf War I with the American 82nd Airborne. So I went dressed as an American, albeit wearing British badges of rank. But my team then were the people I served with, the guys that were around me. Wow. And it becomes you join a very close-knit, quite introverted family. So you don't fight for great ideals like Queen and Country. It was Queen and Country at the time. You fight for the guy on your right, the guy on your left, and the guy who's behind you.